on behalf of the Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce, we welcome each one of you to this session on experimental training on safety and assessment using 3D stroke virtual reality. This session has been organized under the aegis of MSME Council of BCIC. We like to especially thank Mr. Indushekar BR, Chairman of the BCIC MSME Council and Head Strategy Development and Operation Volvo Group, for curating this session for the benefit of our members. The objective of this session is to know more on the experimental safety training and assessment platform of Surakshan. The features includes confession code, gamification, retention, and visualization. The platform will provide a complete immersive experience which we will be hearing from all the speakers. The session will be addressed by a team from Antis Technologies led by Mr. Raghavendra, who is the founder and director, and we have the other speakers, Thiru Venkatam and also Deepak. Each one will be talking on the different aspects on this platform. So, on behalf of the chamber, we express our sincere thanks to the team from Antis Technology for accepting our invitation to address on this important subject. We also would like to thank all the participants for joining in today's session. We request all the participants to kindly mute the mic and the webcam option. This will increase the bandwidth so that we are able to view it. Request all the participants to post the questions in the chat box, or you could raise your hand. May I now invite Mr. Thiru Venkatam to introduce and take this forward. Over to you, Thiru Venkatam.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. We at Antis appreciate this opportunity to talk to the members of BCIC today. Our sincere thanks to Mr. Indushekar, the chairman of MSME Council, and the organizing team at BCIC. So we see BCIC under the aegis of MSME Council has embarked on various initiatives to support the industry in adopting new technologies. This, obviously leads to bringing in best practices from around the world and improve operational efficiencies and compliances of the industries in and around Bangalore. Today, we will be looking at benefits of using video games in the MSME sector. While all of us are familiar with the games in the entertainment sector, the application of gaming concepts in industrial environment is gaining traction only very recently. Today's session is focused on use of games to improve training efficiency and effectiveness, and in particular, we are going to focus on occupational safety training. I'm Thiru Venkatam, and I've been involved in providing IT information technology solutions to manufacturing companies for over 35 years now. I'm a strategic advisor to Antis Technologies on developing industry alliances. And I'm joined by Mr. Raghavendra, who is the director and co-founder of Antis, who would be demonstrating the gamified safety training platform to us. We also have Mr. Deepak Mukherjee, who is an expert in EHS, and he is a safety advisor to Antis Technologies. So let me just spend another minute or two to say what is gamified learning. Gamified learning is a method which uses video games for learning purposes. The key lies in the fact that the content and the skills that you want to teach are not put in face-to-face class or in a paper manual, but through video games. Video games are fun to play, as we all know, and they are quite effective because they are, we get immersed into it. So thereby, training using video games reduces the cost of training programs, increases the students' motivation to, get involved and play those games and learn, and in facilitating direct practices. Researchers around the world have shown that game-based training ensures over 90% retention when compared to traditional methods. At another level of gamification is the use of virtual reality headsets. By using these headsets, we can put the trainee right into the middle of a workplace hazard and evaluate their responses when they are fully immersed into that environment. Gamified training allows every trainee to learn at his or her own pace learn and correct their workplace safety practices and score their performances. So, with that little introduction, let me invite Raghavendra to take over and give us a demonstration of the platform. Over to
So
you,
my
Raghavendra.
request is that before Raghavendra could join, we have Indushekar joined us.
Sure,
Let us
good afternoon, sir.
let us hear from Indushekar. Indushekar, can you
Good
share us?
afternoon. Good afternoon. And
Good
Sorry, sir,
afternoon.
we missed
very,
you.
yeah, yeah, no, 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 not at all, not at all. I was in
Thank you so much.
another meeting, so I had to just complete it and then come back here.
We like
So,
to hear from you, sir.
yeah, yeah, yep, certainly. So, very warm welcome to Raghavendra and the team here, Mr. Joshi, and my take on this is, yep, this is something that we would be exploring for our MSME friends. How do we make sure utilizing the digital enablers towards the enhancement of the safety? And we did this program. Thanks, Raghavendra, doing this for Volvo. And I must tell you that we are in discussions. I would also meet a couple of our
Yeah, I
colleagues
just want to
tomorrow.
check, was that a genuine?
And then the point was to get this awareness to the MSME friends, and that's exactly what we have here today. So, without wasting much of a time, I would request Raghavendra, Dilip, please go ahead and let's hear from you and also answer all the queries from the participants. Over to you, Raghavendra.
Thank you so
Thank,
much.
thank you, Indushekar, sir.
Thank you, Prithvi. Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Indushekar. I think it was great meeting you last time, but I think it's a great opportunity for us, for us to talk more about this experiential training and assessment what we talked about, and I believe it is the need of the hour as well. So I would like to thank you, and
Thank you, sir.
Thiru is our strategic advisor to Antis Technologies, who is a part of
Thank you, sir. Nice meeting you, Thiru, sir.
his meeting, and I also have Mr. Deepak Mugudar. He was the ex executive vice president safety at General Electric,
Wow.
and he has been doing the safety audits and doing a lot of counseling in the manufacturing sector in and around India as well as across the globe. And I also have Mr. Shrikant, who is the brain behind the creativity of this experiential training in the Shaker, right? I think
So
he's
nice.
also,
So nice,
yeah,
Shrikant.
yeah.
Nice meeting.
So he's also part of this meeting as well. But I would like to also thank Rupa and Prithvi for organizing this. Thank you so much. So now I will, if you all agree, I will just mute my video part of it from a bandwidth standpoint, and take few points and then straight away go into the demo. All
Sure,
right,
sure.
how we can do that. So I will mute my video, please. Thank you so much. So I believe the experiential training, how experiential training can really bring in the transformation, especially in the safety culture in the manufacturing industry. And if you look at specifically the blue collar workers, right? And traditionally they all have gone through this training in a PPT as well as a video format, and we are now trying to bring in that as the cultural change in safety. When you look at the experiential training, the first thing Thiru was mentioning about the game, the first thing which comes to our mind is our kids playing the games, right? Especially during the COVID times and all. I mean, we are all homebound, and kids playing the games. Why is that there is so much of involvement from the kids? If you observe, there is a lot of visualization, right? I think visualization is one of the key elements of the gaming, and the interactiveness, right? I think there is so much of interactiveness happens when we play the game, and there are you get the scores. It will motivate you to do more, and go to the next level. So these are all some of the benefits of the gamification or the gaming, which is involved. And we thought, why not bring in the gamification element into the training, especially providing an experiential training in the industrial safety arena. All right. And I would like to quote one thing, from one of the great philosophers, Confucius. And he said, "Tell me, and I will forget. Show me." He says, "And I may remember." And he says, "Hey, involve me, and I will understand." I think the if you know, I think we have been talking to a lot of people in the manufacturing sector, and a lot of our friends follow either in the category 1 or 2. That is, they keep telling about what are the safety options, or what are the safety topics which they need to follow, or at most a video is presented to the blue collar workers from a safety standpoint. And absolutely there is no involvement from in terms of the workers doing it themselves. So we thought, okay, very, very few of them, Mr. Indushekar, we have seen falling into category 3. That means, the workforce gets involved, so that they will be able to understand and apply this safety standards and the safety methodologies. So what I will do, I will take you through the technology we are trying to work on, called the Suraksha, which is a cloud-based technology which helps in making it more interactive and experiential. So what I will do is I will share my screen now to do a demonstration. Rupa, can you please allow me to share my screen?
Yes, sir. You can share, sir.
Thank you so much. What happened? What happened? Huh? I am not able. One second. Rupa, I'm not able to share. One second, let me check. Give me 1 moment.
So you need to bring the PPT to the desktop,
Okay.
and from the desktop you can share it.
One second. Can you see my screen?
It is showing your mail account.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now you can see the screen.
Can you see my
Yeah,
screen?
yeah, now we can see.
Excellent.
Yep.
Make it
Thank
make
you
it
so much.
slideshows.
Okay. So now I will just log in and then showcase this. I am logging in as a user, and this is a cloud-based platform, a technology, and people this can be deployed on AWS, which can be accessible by anyone who have access, or it can be hosted in company environments as well. So I will log in myself. Give me 1 moment. So the whole idea is each the blue collar worker or employee logs into the system, undergoes the training, and get himself assessed, so that the supervisor will have access to the real time reporting in terms of what kind of interventions are required in order to make sure that this safety part of it is addressed as well. So Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you. So we have coined as a player instead of a user because we all come from that gamification background. So now I have created three modules. One is a typical traditional safety training, which is the order of the day, where most of the safety trainings happens using the PPT and the video, and get assessed as well. The second, the method of the safety training we are trying to bring in is do it yourself. You immerse yourself, and it is provided on a more simulated environment. And the third and the most important is the experiential, where we are using a virtual reality to immerse yourself. And some of our Japanese friends in Jigni and Bidadi use our VR-based safety experiential training to make sure that their contract workforce experiences it from a safety standpoint. So I will just take you one by one. Here is, I will take the example of working at height, which is one of the most important safety topic. So typically, you have, whenever we do want to work on one of the jobs which involves working at a height, typical trainings are done using a PPT, and they are told what kind of guidelines you need to follow in terms of a safety. And the next level is to show them a video and teach them how to do it. And you get assessed as well. So I will just showcase those examples. So this is a typical, the way of teaching what is working at height. So the working at heights would involve, the different examples. When you are working above the ground, what is that? You could fall from an edge if you are not, or take precautions. So these are all some of the guidelines which most of the companies follow for working at heights. So these are all some of the facts. So fall from heights during work are a major cause of serious injuries and fatalities. And I also understood from our Mr. Deepak Mugudar that it happens with 1.5 meters or less. I was very surprised. So, and then these are all some of the examples of working at heights. And this is the guideline document. And typically what PPEs you need to wear, the most important for doing any job in our manufacturing industry is wearing the right PPEs, right? So, you need to have the helmets, the eyeglass, the high visibility vest, the boot, the hand glove, and the most important is the harness. So this is a typical, the guideline document which provides what are the things which you need to take care to make sure that you follow the guidelines. And the next level of learning is through a video. And most of our friends in the manufacturing industry have this in the local languages as well, and then they teach the safety part of it through a video, and it's all part of their e-learning. Some of the the organizations have got through their e-learning programs as well. So this is the second level of teaching. I was referring to one of this gentleman, Confucius, right? The first one, the guideline, you show them to your workers and teach them, preach them. That means when I How, tell me and I will forget. I think that's the first category. The second category is you show me. That is what you go through the video programs and then show me, and I you might remember. If you are very interested, you might remember. So this is the second category of the safety part of it, or from an experiential part of it. And there is a quiz, there is an assessment which is also being done by a lot of our our friends in the manufacturing sector to understand whether the safety aspect of it has been understood comprehensively by the workers. So there is always and you can select the right ones and then go through the program. So typically, if you look at this, there is a score which happens, and this gives a motivation for the users to make sure that they score better. And I will show you in some of the next the real-time dashboards how the leaderboards are all done. Skip this. So I will complete this. The next one is so this is do it yourself. I was talking about how do you get involved is through the simulations, and you do it yourself. So the same program we have created during using a simulation. So this is the same example of working at height. There are two games. One is a Ppe game, and another one is a simulation game, where a factory environment is simulated, where you are completely immersed in a factory environment, and then you need to identify the unsafe acts and unsafe conditions. So let me go into the Ppe game. So in our earlier category 1, we have seen only in a document on the video, what kind of PPE you need to wear, and you need to read through and you need to remember. Now you can see the difference. Here, you need to touch and identify what are the safety PPEs you need to wear before you start the job. I mean, that's the big difference. Here, I need to select it. So I need a body vest. There is a boot, and these are all touch based, where you touch, you get you feel part of it. There is an audio in terms of a local language is also available. So there is a glove you need to wear. The most important is the helmet. And of course, when you are working at height, the most important is wearing the safety harness, and he is wearing having the ear ones as well. So you are now good to go. So this means you have understood, as a worker who is going to work on the heights, have understood what are the necessary PPEs which are very important to identify and wear it before you start the work. So the next one which I will demonstrate is a simulation game. Now you are in a factory environment. So this is created in a simulated factory environment, where you are walking inside the factory, and you are need to identify the hazards and the near misses. So this gentleman is climbing the ladder, and if you observe, there is a hazard which is very important, that is what is the hazard. And the second one, if you observe, this, I just missed, so it will show me up in the report, and there is a block which is missing here. So this is definitely a hazard. So the most important is you need to identify the hazards while you are working in the factory environment. So that will make sure that you identify those, and then you get assist as well. Here the person is working close to an unprotected floor cut, so that's a hazard I have identified. And one of the most important things which you have observed, team, is every time I identify the right hazard, I get a score as well. So, this will assess whether I have understood or identified the hazards and the near misses. And assume this gentleman, if he weren't wearing the harness, he would have fallen to death, right? So, or injured himself badly. So that's a near miss incident. And if you observe, I think these are all some of the hazards which were identified, and some of them I missed. And since it is cloud enabled, and people who is my supervisor, let's say Thiru, and he will be able to know very precisely whether Raghu has understood was able to identify the real hazards and the near misses, or whether he is ready to go to work or not. So if I have missed, and if he feels that these are the two important things, then I will have to retake the test. And then when I retake the test, if I pass, it's okay. If I do multiple fails, then what happens is there is an intervention required. So then Thiru would do a one-on-one, or take some more time to go through the guidelines and then pass it. So let me go back, and I will try to do the score. There are some of them which I have done, so it says, but we can, if we want to put 100%, then we can make 100% as the passing mark, so that this will show as a fail, and then still I need to do it. One of the key areas of this gamification is this leaderboard as well. So this will motivate the user, and compare himself with the others in his team. And one of our customer who is a market leader in the two-wheeler are using this leaderboard to publish in their intranet who are the safety champions every month, so that they encourage their workforce to do better. So the next one I would like to do is experiential safety training and assessment through VR. So what I would like to demonstrate is my colleague Madhu is here. What he is going to do is I will just unshare and then share it, and I want the team to look at. He's going to wear the virtual reality device, which is Oculus Quest, which is part of Facebook. Then, we will stream what he is seeing on the virtual reality. So I will, let me unshare it for a moment, please. So this is my colleague Madhu, and Madhu is wearing the Oculus device. And what he will do is we have connected the Oculus device through the wire, where it can be so Indu Shaker, it can be done through a wire, or we can log into the Oculus website, and you can stream what Madhu is viewing on the laptop, and it can be stream across the globe. If I share it, and you will be able to watch what, if Madhu is a supervisor, be able to show to the team how this experiential training can be done as well. So what I will do is we will stream what Madhu is doing it. All right. What I will do is, Madhu, can you come closer, please? Okay. So now what I will do is I will share my screen, please. Let me do that. I'm going to share my screen. Can you see my screen, please, now?
Yes.
Excellent. Give me one moment. We will stream it through this one app. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes.
Great. So now I think this is a more experiential where Mr. Indushekhar and team, I was talking about gamification. The first one was purely a passive way of training and learning. The second one was assimilation, but in a gaming parlance, the person who is inside the laptop or the machine, he is the first person and we are the third person. So we were seeing through his eyes the experience. But now what we are going to show is Madhu is experiencing the safety aspect of it, and he will fall from a height. And some of our customers, the Japanese customers in the automotive area are building a mini a plant, I would say, and they are trying to get their workforce trained experientially using the VR, and they want to make sure that while the construction is on, they wanted to give these experiential ones so that their ability to retain this would be the highest. So that's one of the studies which is done by national laboratories in the US, the national training laboratories in the US, where the retention would be the highest when you do the experiential ones. So Madhu is now trying to select what PPEs he is checking. He has selected the helmet. He is now selecting the jacket. He is wearing the safety boots. Mask is not Madhu. So he is going to wear the safety harness. So now if you observe, he is now ready to go. So there is instruction for Madhu. He needs to walk around the facility and identify the hazards. So you use the controls to walk around. Madhu, can you please show the ambience, the environment? And what Madhu is doing is he is just turning his head and looking around and then trying to get familiarized with the site where the construction for working at height is happening. Perfect, Madhu. So Madhu uses the controls to move forward, and which is very, very easy. So there is a hazard if you observe, the typical working at a site scenario where you are getting a support through a brick rather than, so now there is a possibility that it can fall on you. So that is what he is experiencing. He has identified that as a hazard, and what he is going to do is he's fixed that. So when you see it, it has got a complete fixed solution. Now what Madhu will do is he will go through and the ladder, and he is actually climbing it. Yeah, right. So he is climbing the ladder, and he found that there is a broken ladder here. So he is touching that, and he is now need to identify that. He will fix. When he fixes it, please observe, the ladder is has whatever broken is now completely redone. Now Madhu is walking close, and he's also found 2 hazards, and there are 5 hazards you need to identify. And typical gamification we are trying to bring in, where it will tell you how many hazards you need to identify. Here this gentleman is not wearing the harness, as well as the area is not safe. Now there is a block which is missing. So Madhu is touching that hazard, and then he's fixing that. Oh, he is showing if you don't do that, there is a possibility that you will fall, right? And he is all experiencing that. And he has found the 4 defects out of 5, so he needs to find 1 more. And here is a classic example of this gentleman not wearing the harness. And now if you observe, the harness has tied to him. And this is the summary. Or you have not done complete Madhu, so that is the reason. Okay. So now he will experience the fall. Madhu, can you show us that, please? So he is going to now experience without wearing the safety harness. Madhu, can you please touch? Can you please observe? Can you look up and down, Madhu, what happens if you are not wearing the harness? So, Mr. Indushekar, if you see, the guy was completely fallen, right?
Yep.
Now, what Madhu will show is, this is with the harness, that there is a positive scenario. And here, he is wearing the harness. So, if you observe, can you look down, Madhu, please? Yeah, okay, so he's not fallen, and since he is wearing the harness, so the whole message is please work safe, be safe, and the whole idea is everybody has a family, and the most important is you will have to go back to family at the end of the day. So that's the message. Madhu, thank you so much for the wonderful demo. Thank you so much. What I will do is I will unshare this, and give me 1 moment. Yes. So this is what we call as an experiential training, and one of our customers, which I was mentioning, have been using this experiential training, Mr. Indushekar and the entire team. And we would like to take this across the industry. The reason is through a technology, there are few things which we can definitely achieve. One of them is, of course, the most important is how do we use the technology to reach out to the last person in the factory, because our experience is because of the stress on the team and the limited resources available, they are not able to reach out to the last person in the factory, and that is they do it. Even if they do it, the refreshers and the trainings happen either twice a year or thrice a year, and if you observe that the first category part of it, by the time you go to a refresher, another 6 months will happen. So through a technology, because it's cloud enabled, you can reach out to the last person. the most important is the standardization. I think, again, I have been, we have been talking to our friends in the Jigini and the Bidadi area of the manufacturing industry, where how we can standardize the safety aspects of it. I will give a classic example of when you cross a road. A typical Japanese way of doing yoshchak is I look right, I look left, I look straight, and I will say go. So that means you need to be attentive when you are crossing the road. I know that's one simple example of how do you standardize the safety aspects of it. So the technology helps in standardization of a lot of things in the manufacturing sector from a safety standpoint. And of course, our ability to deliver also using technology is very, very important, because this gamification, once we develop the standard safety aspects, we will be able to deliver it across the industry. These are all the standards which we can do. And I would like to...
Can you quickly list out all the topics that you are currently covering and the ones on the roadmap?
Sure. So there are multiple topics, we have been working on, working at heights, the material handling, the chemical safety, road campus safety, then forklift safety, compressed air, and chemical safety. And we are working on forklift safety, fire safety, and all, which will follow.
Electrical safety.
Yeah. Sure. Like to now thank you, Mr. Indushekhar, and thank you for the MSME Aegis for giving us an opportunity, and we can take a few questions. And
Sure, Raghavendra. Thanks for this wonderful presentation. And let me just I would request all the MSME members, let's use this opportunity to, through our queries to Mr. Raghavendra and team, get those clarification done, and also explore how we could, embrace on this experiential learning, and what could be the next steps for the MSME Council. So let's open the floor for some Q&A. Prithvi, Rupa, you could also moderate, please. Dr. Krasta, you're there?
Yeah, Dr. Prasha is there.
Okay.
Sir, very much that I'm very, very coolly listening to you, Indushekhar.
Oh my word.
So
Thank you very much.
whenever the chairman, co-chairman has to follow. No?
Oh my word.
And especially when the...
Sir, I would request you to give some reflections about this particular engagement. Maybe then we request our MSME friends to throw up some queries. Over to you, Dr. Krasta.
No, on safety and the precautions which is given is really nice. I think it is very much required in any industry for that matter, not only in MSME. But MSME in particular is very much required. Especially, I think my suggestion to the designer who has done it, most of the MSMEs have a boiler. The boiler has always a problem, and plenty of, as of I know, MSMEs have suffered because of the boiler. Safety wall is not working properly, and pressure is increasing, and a lot of workers are dying down because of the boiler. Probably this device could also be used in especially as a safety for a boiler. The boiler of not high capacity, boiler of the low capacity, I think 2,500 it doesn't require a license and all that. But such boilers are going fat and so many workers are doing that. So probably this also could be an extended little bit of change in design done. I think it will be more useful, especially in MSME sector. I mean, that's my suggestion. Otherwise, it is an excellent device where it is very much required in MSME for safety purposes. And tomorrow, when we're talking about the global way of manufacturing, where it goes, and the global marketing goes up, everybody looks at whether what are the safety precautions have been done. And when you talk about say 5 years and 6 Sigma, these are the things that are very much required in the industry. Thank you, and Shekhar, for bringing this kind of device, innovative device for the safety purpose. It's so nice, so nice. Raghavendra, I think, compliments to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Krasta. Raghavendra, you want to make a comment on that? I think it's a very good point what Dr. Krasta has brought.
Let me,
I think you're muted. I think you need to unmute.
Srikanth here. We have identified about 50 topics in safety, and we are tackling that one by one. We have, right now completed about 15 major topics.
Okay.
Like Raghavendra was saying, working from height, working in enclosed spaces, road safety, electrical safety, chemical safety, fire safety. These are all things that we have completed. And the topic, basically we start with understanding the topic and then building the scenario simulations around it. And like Mr. Krista said, boiler, definitely we will address that. If it's going to be the major concern of MSMEs, maybe we can collaborate with someone there. Even our safety advisor, Mr. Deepak, is here. We can look at this topic, get an understanding of what all hazards that present for the boiler and what controls and safeguards are supposed to be done, and we can build a simulation around it, if that helps.
Yeah, Srikanth, if I may just add one more point there, like we can circulate the available topics right now and the balance of the topic that we are working on.
That will be very
maybe
good.
the members can tell us as to what is their priority. We keep doing it as an R&D, but as Dr. Krishna said, members can say, well, hey, I need this and not that one immediately type. Then we can prioritize in terms of product development.
Sure, sir. I think that's a very, very good of you. So that will also, we can make sure that our members are continuously, be on the top of these, so that if something that is available and can be made use of, let's explore that also. There is a question by Sriram Kumar from TVS, Mysore actually. So his question is basically in a scenario where there is a floating population. Okay. So once again, I'll read it. Where there is a floating population, will the use of the VR devices will VR be effective as it's handled multiple times? So that's from Sriram Kumar.
Well, actually, we have tried, VR is possibly for supervisors, and PC is the first choice of use. Okay, first choice of use is always the PC, and then the next level of usage is for the VR. Since the VR devices are not too many in a company, maybe 1 or 2 stations, or if possibly about 10 stations you can have. You can get the first initial effect of learning through the PC itself, and you can have a kind of a scheme where you do well there, and then you get a chance to experience the VR. So that also gives some motivation for people to.
Absolutely. I was about to say it's a motivation to go towards VR. Yep. There is also. So there is a question from Srinivasan. Further, if there is a legal action stating that the employer failed to train the employee adequately, this training protocol will mitigate the challenge posed by plaintiff's lawyer.
Well, actually, what we observe in safety training is, its training is mostly done for the sake of compliance. Okay, because it is done classroom-based training and stuff like that. But with easy access of these kind of simulated games and stuff like that, will make people play more. You can do it whenever you want it, wherever you want it. So the more you play,
Go ahead, Shrikant.
Yeah, the more you experience, we want to bring safety as a culture rather than simply as a compliance trick.
Very true.
So we are
Very true.
encouraging sites to have this and use it as much as possible. People can play it even for fun, so that they can understand the various hazards and the ways of mitigating it and things like that. So it is easy. You saw one example of working at heights. If you want to really do it physically, it will possibly take you about 20 minutes to do that.
Mm.
Okay, in here, in 2 minutes, you can experience the entire thing.
Mm.
So that way, a wide range of safety topics can be experienced. And the Suraksha which we are giving has got a large content base. And you can put together some content into a specific program for a particular role. If a worker is there in chemical warehouse, you can put together only content for him. So it can be specific content to specific roles. So that way it is pointed. Right now what we are saying is that security programs, safety programs are all very generic, one fits all and things like that. Where even if a person is not working in the chemical department and all that, he has been taken through so many different things. In Suraksha, you are able to create a program in 10 minutes, put together the content, roll it out to a specific role, and he can practice it any number of times he wants, and he can see how he has performed.
Like Deepak to respond to the employer liability part. Deepak?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. So the doing more is always better, and we have been doing that. See, the idea is to provide training and go beyond compliance, as what Srikanth was mentioning, is the key.
Right.
So this will be an addition to what we are doing for in the company. So this will take them to the next level, making them more aware, making them more competent with these trainings will be much better. I think we'll be more protected than doing a generic training and just getting the signature on the paper.
Mm. Yep. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Was bringing that clarity on that, especially to do with the statutory compliance. You're right. Uh, we are wanting safety to be a part of something ingrained in our culture. So we don't want to just do it for the heck of statutory compliance. I just want to
Absolutely.
ask this question. What do you you know Raghavendra and team? What do you really want to suggest if we need to take this to the next level? Today it was more about getting an awareness to our MSME members in BCIC.
Right.
So, India is a country which has very, I would say, it is changing, but still from what we see in the rest of the world, when it comes to safety, we just have a little different attitude towards it. But we spend more time then getting into the postmortem and all that stuff. So, if we need to bring this transformation in safety, which is truly both productivity and also on the quality. So how do we get through this moving to the next steps in the ladder? Because I don't want this to be just one awareness program
Right.
to the members. And in fact,
Mm-hmm.
it was not just for MSME. We really wanted to cover the rest of the manufacturing panel, the industry 4.0. We have so many panels within BCIC.
Uh-huh.
So I would seek your views. What do you believe that we should be doing next? So that will be something that we at BCIC would want to
Sure.
get through this and then engage with you guys and see how do we move this needle to a really culturally where we want to take the industry as a whole. Well, I keep discussing separately for Volvo. That is a completely different discussion.
Sure.
But from a overall as an industry, how do we move the cultural transformation on safety? If I ask
Raghu,
you
can I
those
answer
top
this?
3-4 activities, please suggest us.
I have a
Raghu, I'll
thought
answer this
process.
question.
Please.
Yeah, Indushekhar, Dilip here. So
Yep.
thanks
Yeah.
for connecting us. Actually, yeah. It's great. I think it's basically these programmers to bring in awareness. That's
Correct.
rightly said by you. But in the next level, that what I would propose or we would propose is that maybe get engaged with different members, companies who are keen and who are looking forward, and they're not waiting for an accident. Rather, so people are coming to us for having had an accident. So we don't want that to happen. As Srikanth said, we want to bring safety as a culture and not as a compliance. So maybe we would try to engage with this group, people who have a hazard. Most of the companies have hazards always there, but
Yeah.
critical hazard that we would like to address. That was the first step, and then probably going beyond in the other panels. We can have such awareness programs that we can do, and bring in a specific example related to that particular industry sector. As Srikanth was pointing out, the chemical safety for a storage need not be taught to the others, but it's important that in the factory that you teach something which is relevant to a particular role. So maybe looking at
So
the
if I may
yeah.
interfere here, just sectorial wise is something that you would recommend.
I would say based on the type of the application, type of the industry, that makes a better sense also.
Mm.
But if you have a group which is a manufacturing group at certain level, not MSCB but something else, and we could look at some examples, some member companies, and try to make a presentation which can suit that particular group.
Okay.
Here,
Mm.
let me,
Go ahead,
this,
Shrikant.
this product is
Mm.
basically targeted towards the frontline operators.
True.
Frankly, not towards the frontline operators and supervisor, not towards the managerial. Managerial definitely needs to understand, but the large numbers are there on the floor. Okay. Now these guys, what we observe, they are very good on the mobile. We were very surprised. Now, can these people play and all the stuff? But they are really good. The youngsters who are out there on the floor and all that, they are too good on the mobile and the VR. On the VR device, again, they performed outstanding.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now, to encourage these guys to play these scenarios and understand, I
Mm.
think they should be incentivized.
Mm.
Just like the gamification of what we say, we gamify airline ticketing and whatnot. Okay,
Mm.
that's a
Mm.
gamification. Now here also, if you can gamify like some gifts and rewards for people who actually perform very well.
Mm.
Okay, so that is something that age group will look forward to.
Mm.
Gaining. I mean, these guys are always onto online gaming and trying to do many things to
Mm.
get rewards and stuff like that. In the MSME sector where it is dispersed, it
Mm.
is not like large companies where you can have you can have a large crowd that you can address. But
Mm.
here it is dispersed. Maybe this forum can set up some kind of an incentive to develop safety champions.
Mm. Mm.
We have even in this gamification platform, we have badges.
Mm. Mm.
You score well and all that, you get badge. Okay,
Mm.
it shows
Mm.
up over here. Now, maybe that the badges can be translated into rewards.
Mm.
And people can walk around with some kind of a physical thing on their chest and all that.
Mm.
And some kind of rewards have to be done for the operators for them to see, uh, to get into it
Mm. Mm.
and be
So now,
motivated. And then, yeah, some kind of a scheme we have to do.
right.
I think
So
that's a very good point what you mentioned, Shrikant.
So now,
Mm.
Indu, I have another point which we are trying to work with our Japanese friends. Is what we are trying to do is we are trying to identify some of the standard topics which they use it across. Number
Mm.
one.
Mm.
Number two, what are the hazards and the unsafe acts and conditions which we can standardize? Number two.
Mm.
Number three is once we do that, then we are going to distribute amongst these companies, among our Japanese company fraternity. Similarly, for our MSME community, what we can do is let's identify which are the standard safety challenges they have undergone. Maybe you take last year, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever. It could be, someone mentioned boiler, it could be, handling of the material, or it could be handling of working at height. So let's identify some of the safety challenges which these people have undergone, number one. Number two is, once we identify that, let's write down what are the safety guidelines which we need to do. Number two, then we gamify that and make this MSME community use it, because this is cloud enabled, and from a technology standpoint, scalability is not an issue because it can be scaled and we can host it on AWS, and it can be available across. So we can do that. So we can work very closely with you, Indu, and then take it forward. I mean, this is what I thought, which we can do as a next step.
Yep. I think I really appreciate those points. I have made a note of it.
Sure.
So what exactly we would like to do is get on another meeting with our MSME friends,
Sure.
discuss this about, and then come back to you guys.
Great.
See, that's exactly, we want to keep this, the excitement about cultural transformation
Absolutely.
through whatever the experiential learning.
Sure.
Any other questions or clarifications from the participants?
Indushekar,
From
there
the
are three
MSME?
people
Please
who
go
raised
ahead.
their hand.
Please.
Maurice, Shaktivel, and Dilip. You could go
Okay.
ahead.
So,
Please
hi,
go ahead.
good evening, everyone. Myself is Ivo Moraes. So, my thanks for taking us through this. And I had a chance in 2018 to have this experiential learning through one of our vendor, and it's very useful even at a design stage. So, we had similar setup, and we did a very good exercise in terms of conveying system through convey, and we could identify a lot of hazard. Thanks for that. My question is that when it comes to a blue collar employee, how we can leverage the use of this, whether it is virtual reality or any sort of a training program through a mobile base, because this is a very commonly used all across. So is there any way which can be done? That is one. And second thing, in a road safety, we have a challenges in terms of doing, although we do defensive driving and all, how we can extrapolate to this drivers.
Well, this road safety, we have got a game over there where you have, it's a video-based hazard identification that you are driving all across, let's say, Bangalore. So many hazards, potholes, people coming in the way, all kinds of things, and you are supposed to identify. It's a kind of a game that's very fast-paced. And so once we have a concept, translating that into a game and deploying it is something that we do. What you are also saying is about the mobile. See, in this product, we have a digital content on the cloud, which has got maybe 50, 60 videos. Now, the videos can be easily accessed on the mobile. You can also look at some games that can be accessed on the mobile. But unfortunately, the scenario games and all that needs to have a bit larger screen. Okay, you can have a progression. People can do the smaller things on the mobile, because what we consider mobile is a kind of a non-serious device. Okay, once you do good, then you can progress to some other place where there is a VR or a PC and all that, where they can a kiosk kind of a situation where they can go to that. It has to be a kind of a progression.
Mm-hmm. So this can be a part of a kiosk, you are saying, so that we can put up some few number of kiosks, and then people can go and do the self-training, right?
Yeah, just like in Arogya Setu and all that, you have you're supposed to show up before you enter the passport office and all that. Just like that, you do something on the mobile, get your score up to some level with maybe about 3 stars and all that, and then you can enter and work on the kiosk. So that kind of a progression you can do.
Okay, fine.
Some places in the industrial belts, you can have places with the kiosk and all that, yeah, where you can do. I mean, we can think of a lot of creative ideas where people can get access.
Shakti Vel, sir.
Shaktivel.
Mr. Shakti Vel, are you there? So we'll go to the third one, Mr. Dilip.
No, I was not able to unmute my mic, so I put my hands raised. So I spoke earlier. So
Oh, great.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Thanks.
that's not the question. Yeah.
Dilip,
Okay.
there's some
So,
question in the chat box.
okay, can you read them out, Prithvi?
Yeah. See, I would like to apply these principles in
Healthcare.
healthcare sector. In Melbourne, Australia, example, day surgery centers and dental clinics. So you'll actually know something on it.
Yeah.
Yes, we have done some prototypes for elderly care where we simulate a nurse and a patient. Okay, so it is definitely applicable in the healthcare sector also, where training a nurse or even identifying the various hazards within the hospital and how to correct them. It's very much applicable there also. I mean, if you give a specific instance, we can give you some. Yeah. So,
I will get back to you through email, sir.
Sure.
please.
I'll get back to you through email.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Prithvi, anything else?
Yeah, one more. There's one more question. Do you have any module for road safety and maintenance personals, especially safety during maintenance?
We have a client where we have deployed road safety for field engineers. They are the guys who ride motorbikes all the way. Okay, and so that module is available. It is part of this safety platform.
Mr. Ramanathan, you like to ask a question? You raise your. Yeah, please go ahead.
We have, as part of John Distillery, we have used this product for a couple of months. Are you hearing me? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. As part of John Distillery, we used the product on a trial basis. Definitely, it was a very good product. We also, informed anti-skip, had some particularly chemical-related hazards, which they added and, given the product to us. For me, it's a reasonably user-friendly product the layman can understand. And still we look forward, more and more upgraded version with also the mobile, mostly mobile things. That will help a lot.
Sorry, that I couldn't catch the question really.
What I was saying that, our usage was good, and we have added that chemical part that also added and shared to us. It was the niche product. What I was saying that more and more the safety, the mobile driven learning nowadays is becoming more and more. Adding that mobile driven also alerts. Basically nowadays the incident management is something very closely related to the subject.
Yeah.
So that kind of an upgradation will be of the welcome one. That is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Ram.
Well, actually, we are trying to make this safety area from boring to exciting. Try to catch the hazards right at the source rather than allowing the incidents to happen.
This is a deep sea. So a lot of things we can find as we move. What happens, the expectation normally set, the user level is always very high. I know that, you are all responding with, in a greater speed. That is what from my side. My side is, more than the complaint is a compliment.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Prithvi, any more?
Yeah, I think nothing, sir. I'd like to.
Okay.
Right. Thank you
So
much.
what I would maybe wrap it up is
Yes, sir.
from Anthers, maybe you could share to Prithvi, Rupa, what are those available as per your standard packages, which are those, so that we would go back to our members and then of course come back with which of those could be very relevant for our members.
Sure.
Then of course we will also, as I said, we will go back to the members in terms of some of the inputs that I have noted down here
Sure.
in terms of taking this engagement to the next level. So we will come back to you very soon on this front.
Sure. Thank you so much.
So with that, let me thank Raghavendra and the entire team of Anthers.
Thank you so much.
So for bringing this awareness towards gamifying and experiential learning. And I would also perhaps reach out to you guys so that we could even touch base with our manufacturing panel plus industry 4.0,
Sure.
which also becomes, I think I would say it can be very well stitched.
Sure.
So give me some time, so we will come back to you guys in taking this awareness to a few other panels too.
Sure. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you once again, and
Thank you.
let's
Thank you for
stay
giving
connected.
Yeah, thank you so much. We sincerely appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chandrasekhar, for arranging
Thank you,
this.
sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Rupa
Thank
and
you so much.
Prithvi, thank you so much for organizing this. I think without Rupa's help, it would have been very challenging. But I really thank Rupa for making it fire and Prithvi. So thank you so much, and thanks all of the participants as well.
Thank you.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Have a peaceful
Thank you,
evening.
Raghavendra,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, my chairman, for bringing in MSME Council to the glory.
Thank you, Krasa, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.